Hello guys, welcome back to the second episode of this Nationalist China Let's Play. Well, in the last episode we talked about lots of things regarding the problems of national China, what I consider the most problematic, and we talked about a bit about strategy regarding alignment, lots of possibilities there, and concerning diplomacy also. We talked about intelligence, politics, technology, a bit of production, and in short we talked about lots of things, especially about the problems that we have to solve as Nationalist China. But we didn't talk about what Nationalist China has that is very strong. Nationalist China is actually very rich in manpower. As we can see, even at volunteer army, I beg your pardon, even at volunteer army, National China is gaining 7.6 manpower per month, which is very good. Before I forget it, I made a slight mistake in the last episode. Instead of putting supply production at the bottom of the queue, I put one of the most important texts that I need to research, supply organization. So I'm going to cancel this for now. This is important, but is not a priority. So I don't want that happening again. That's why I usually see me checking production, checking research, is to see if I clicked something by mistake. Another thing that I noticed was that I forgot to prioritize this tech. This tech is very important. It has priority over this one here. I consider organization regain rate more important than the organization than more 5 points of organization, because the speed at which our divisions regain organization is very important to keep fighting. So I'm gonna bring all of these. Okay, I think this is cool. Okay, problems with research are now corrected. In the future I'm going to also research tactical command structure. Is a very important doctrine, and most of these doctrines, because I will eventually want to have armor and five divisions per 5 brigades per division also. Well, I believe it's now time to talk about strategy to deal with Japan, which is the most important now. I was pointing to Korea. It's now part of Japan at the moment. Pretty soon it will be ours. So I could just build a huge fleet of transports, taking advantage of these light cruisers, and build perhaps some destroyers. We actually have a bit of destroyer practical, so I could fill the queue with lots of destroyers, build a few brigades, a lot of brigades of artillery, and do not disband the previous disband all militia that we started with, and use the starting infantry with artillery and invade the Japanese, taking a major port here, for example. We can land here and here, while our destroyers and light cruisers try to stop any fleets from preventing our landing. It would give us enough hours to make a landing in Japan. But I don't want to do that. That is actually the best way to deal with Japan. Landing in Japan will probably take them out rather quickly. But I don't want to do that, because in real life that I believe that's something that China could never do, or at least without a major build-up. So that's what we are going to do. We have I have no problems with this kind of warfare. You have seen me do it with Finland. Some of you have seen me do it with Portugal. I'm even doing an after-action report with a world conquest with Albania. In this game here, I'm trying to avoid as many gamey tactics as possible. So I have ruled out the invasion of Japan until in other words, the invasions of Japan will not happen until we drive the Japanese back to the sea. After we take Manchukuo and Korea and drive these guys all out of to the sea, drive them to the sea, then I will think about invading mainland Japan. Until then, I won't do it. So, in my opinion, if you're playing at normal, you could just build a huge stack of transports and a few escorts. You already start with 10. I say a huge stack of transports because if you load your troops and don't bring spare transports, if they are sunk, your troops drown with them. So it's always wise to bring extra transports and invade right here near Tokyo, because at normal your screens will be able to hold and you will be able to do a successful invasion near Tokyo and quickly take down Japan. It's pretty easy. On very hard, that's not so easy, because you will have a -40 penalty, so you have to be a bit more careful. That's why I suggest this area here. You take a level 10 port and carefully after this port you have another port here and another here, so it will be pretty easy to take over Japan with a sizable force, because you have lots of ports here, and with a determined drive to Tokyo you might even be able to take Tokyo and all its used supplies. So this is the fastest way to deal with Japan. What I'm trying to do it the hard way, but I think that's the way that would most likely happen in real life, because Japan starts this game, if I'm not mistaken, with almost 100 ships, lots of heavy cruisers, lots of destroyers, battle cruisers, battleships, carriers, lots of hardware that I don't believe that a navy composed mainly of transports would stand a chance to land in mainland Japan. So that's my strategy for this game, but it's okay if you do it the other way. It's not your fault. The AI should be able to defend itself better, but unfortunately it isn't able to do that. So I believe it will be more useful to do it the other way, because we have very nice how can I say it, I think it will be fun to see how we can overcome the Japanese without being too gamey, more or less what would I don't say that would happen in real life, but not such a fantasy game like landing near Tokyo. The Japanese will never allow that with their big navy, their powerful air force, and so on. So I will I will try to build up reserve divisions to declare war as soon as possible at Communist China. This will be my first target, but because I will probably have a dreadful officer ratio, I won't conquer them immediately, so that will probably be my biggest gamey move in this game. I will put divisions behind this river, fight defensively, and I will tell you soon why. Immediately after that, as soon as our divisions are organized, I plan to attack Guangxi. This is very important to take out the warlords as soon as possible, because these provinces here, National China has claims on them, so they will become our cores. We will gain much more IC, much more leadership, much more resources, and slowly become a world power because of that. Right now we have only 13.92. I believe that after we unite China and maybe take out Xinjiang to have a road connection to Soviet Union, just in case the war drags for a while. I don't think so, but that could happen, especially at very hard. We may trade with the Soviet Union without exposing our few convoys. So, like I was saying, I'm planning to take out to go to war with Communist China. Then as soon as possible to take out Guangxi, then Yunnan, and probably after I annex Communist China and deal with these two here, I will start dealing with this I dare not pronounce it, I'm sorry, and Shanxi, and eventually Xinjiang. But this will have to be done in a timely fashion, because our troops will then, after taking Shanxi, will have a much bigger front to handle against the Japanese. And since the infrastructure is so poor, when our divisions are up here near, I call it Shibei, don't know if that's the right pronunciation or whatever, they actually probably will take 1 month, 2 months to get here, because of the dreadful infrastructure. I'm talking like an experienced National China player, but I'm not. I actually know this because I've conquered National China lots of times. So this time around I will try to help National China become a world power and get rid of the Japanese first and unite whole China. So let's do the final adjustments and continue with the game. So I'm going to review the intelligence screen to see if I've made some mistakes or not. Okay, this looks good. Technology also looks good, apparently. I really want to to research these techs because I want to start building light cruisers as soon as possible, but divisions have priority, and I don't really know if I'm going to be able to research this without hurting my officer ratio too much. So they will be at the bottom of the queue. We'll see later if I can do this or not. Anti-aircraft armament. It's also hugely important, but because ships can upgrade that, but can't upgrade light cruiser their main armament and their engine. That's why these techs must be researched first. I won't upgrade light cruiser armor, and here's why. Because let's see. As you can see, every point above 16 hull gives us a positioning penalty of 4%. So if I research hull, with each level of hull I'm actually increasing the positioning penalty. So if my hull is much if I have a level 1 hull, I can actually stack at least 16 of these cruisers, hopefully better cruisers, without receiving any penalty. If I improve the hull, what will happen is that with 16 light cruisers I will be having positioning penalties. So this is the upside. And why is this important? Because we will have much more air defense, because we will have 16 cruisers instead of 11 or 12 or 13, whatever, it depends of the hull size. We will have more sea attack and more sea defense because we have more ships. So that's why I want research hull. The downside is that the cruisers might be sunk faster, but I'm kind of hoping that won't happen. If it does, they are easily replaceable, so that's no problem. So I need to put this all into spies until we have all the spies that we need, like in my previous let's play. All will be assigned to spies. I guess I already aligned to the Soviet Union. Yes, that's correct. So it's now time to start the game. I hope I haven't forgotten anything to explain anything. But yeah, one more thing. Why was I so worried about the supply to output? That's rather, here's why. Because the Hearts of Iron supply system only uses one path to deliver supplies to the front. As we can see here in green, the supplies come from our capital and go through one path. So remember, we had lots of units here before they were disbanded. We had lots of units there, and as you can see, the supply goes through one path until it needs to split up to go to other provinces where we had forces, but usually only uses one of these provinces to deliver the bulk of the supplies. So and it usually chooses the shortest way to deliver supplies. It couldn't care less if the provinces nearby are level 10. It doesn't care less. It simply chooses the shortest path to deliver the supplies. That's why I usually recommend to turn up, before building infrastructure, to turn the supply map mode on and build infrastructure along the green areas that go to the front. That's why. So imagine that the supply path, the supply system chooses one of these level 3 provinces to deliver supplies, the bulk of the supplies, to all my troops, and what happens is that I will be reduced to a little over more than 20 supplies per day for my entire army. So this is very, very disturbing and very bad. That's where the hub has a very important job to perform, but I will leave that explanation for later. I don't want this to become too boring, talkings. So when the time comes, I will explain a bit more about this. Regarding our Air Force, for now I want to improve it for now, because I don't have nor leadership nor IC to build planes. I will let them bomb me at will. Fortunately, the Japanese don't have strategic bombers, so if they try to logistically bomb me, then I would use my interceptor to try to stop them. No matter what, the worst kind of bombing is always the logistic bombing or strategic bombing. With ground attack, divisions can reinforce, they can be put back to the rear, and we bring reinforcements to the front. But logistical bombings and strategical bombings are terrible, because in the case of strategic bombings, they destroy our IC. They destroy it to the point of needing weeks, months for us to get our IC back, and they also give us a huge hit on our national unity. Regarding logistic bombings, they simply wreck the whole infrastructure and the supplies won't go through. Okay, that's enough of talking for now. It's time to actually start the game before the time runs out. So I'm now waiting to start trading with the US. Just a second. Yeah, I'm going to disable the automation of convoys. They will only automate maintenance of the convoys that I create. I'm actually wasting IC here. I forgot to check this. So everything is going to production to start building these badly needed reserve divisions. I will be talking while we wait. I'll be talking about why I chosen. By the way, I was almost forgetting. We're now on day 2. I probably can now sell fuel to the US, but I was almost forgetting. In the situation where we do an amphibious landing with our best troops in mainland Japan, militia would work quite well in the front lines. We would build a huge amount of militia, a defensive hub, and all the Japanese back until we would be able to conquer their mainland with our infantry. So keep that in mind if you want to do that. Use your infantry with artillery or whatever, your best troops, to invade Japan. If you're playing on normal, build a crap load of transports, and with starting cruisers you may actually be able to get away with the amphibious landing in these 2 provinces here near the capital. You capture their supply depot, their supplies and fuel, and you don't even need to run convoys here because you will have supplies and fuel to take the entire Japanese island without taking convoy losses. And you hold as much as possible with your militia here, and our militia taking care of the ports. So the Japanese will be pretty much doomed, because it would be much faster for you to take down their island than they to conquer your old VPs if something goes wrong, because infrastructure also is bad for you, but it's also bad for those trying to invade you, because units also have problems with supplying. We see mountains, I see mountains here, so you have lots of rivers where you can build a second line of defense, so it wouldn't be easy for the Japanese to get through. So let's continue, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask them, that I will gladly answer them. So I'm going to try to sell fuel to the US. Apparently they will accept it. I'm going to try to sell them 16. That will be enough for our needs, hopefully. Okay, 16, it's enough. Let's hope they accept it. Yeah, that's great. Now we have money coming in. I will also be trying to improve my relations with them. As you can see, our relations were at 75. With this little trade, it increase to 90. Let's speed this up. Our spies are increasing. When we have, okay, it's not time to try to sell supplies to the US. I'm going to sell them small amounts of supplies with the sole intention of raising relations with them. That will be very important, because when relations grow, in our what we buy from them becomes cheaper. We are able to buy at a lower price. Let's compare prices now. Right now, with 19 relations, 50 rare materials will cost us 6.38 money. Probably when we are at 200, it will only cost us 5 money. So it's a lot of money that in the long run will compensate for the small amount of leadership we are using to do these deals. Okay, we now have spies, so I'm going to send them first to the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom will reduce our neutrality faster. That's great. United States accepted it. Let me see how many divisions we are producing. Only 3 at full speed. Let me check. Okay, we already have money for basic mobilization. I'm going to choose basic mobilization first, and then mixed industry. Okay, we have to put some into consumer goods. Here we are, basic mobilization. This means that our neutrality is dropping relatively fast. Okay, our time is almost up for today. Let me do another deal with the US. We now have 25 of IC. That's great. Okay, now we have 12 spies. It's time to send them to our neighbor, Communist China. Increase threats, increase threats. That's cool. The Germans decided to occupy the Rhineland. Okay, time for another trade deal. I hope they still have money to buy my supplies. Yeah, they still have. We'll keep doing this until our relations reach 200, like I said. Wonderful, they accepted it. The consumers goods is okay. Just waiting for the spies. Enough spies to send to France. Hopefully the French won't wreck my plan about the light cruisers, and instead of stealing more useful stuff I end up stealing light cruiser hull. So tech spy, and I will try to kill their spies also. So, forgot to nope, we have spies. Okay, they went. One more deal and it's all for today. Let's see if they buy it. Yep. Okay, let's check our relations with the US. We are at 135. We're now able to enact the full mobilization. Sorry. Okay, our IC will grow quite a bit now, and it's all for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you soon. Take care.